Okay, can everybody that's online hear me? Where's the chat? Yes, Amanda said yes. Okay, cool. Well, thank you all for coming. My name is Paulina. For those of you that I haven't met, I think I've met most of you guys. I want this class to be interactive. So if you guys have any questions during the presentation, or if you have any comments, or if you want to add anything, feel free to chime in because I don't want to be up here talking by myself the whole time. So super casual, interactive, and um, we'll go around the room to introduce ourselves. Like I said, my name is Paulina. I started real estate in March of 2019. So I am going on my 3rd year and I have been loving it ever since. When I first started, I actually did Ignite classes and I think I took 3 of them back to back because I'm like, each time you learn something new, and whenever you're new, it's a little overwhelming. So every time you're like picking up new nuggets here and there, and it's super awesome, super helpful. And I'm so thankful that Keller Williams actually does provide all the training to new agents because it is scary getting into this business. So let's go around the room and briefly introduce yourself. Just tell me your name and how long you've been in real estate and your big why. And you don't have to expand on that. Just kind of tell me why you got into real estate. My big why is, like I was talking earlier, we moved here from Poland when I was 11, and I feel like I'm a first generation immigrant, and I feel like my parents have sacrificed a lot to give me and my siblings the life, more opportunities and a better life. So my big why on a daily basis, when I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not want to make calls, like screw these people, I don't want to talk to them, I always remind myself of my big why, and that sometimes that's kind of what gets me through the day. So super important to have a big why for those tough days whenever you don't necessarily want to put in the work, just to remind yourself of why you're doing it, whether it's for your kids, whether it's for your family, or whatever it is. I want to know what your guys' big why is. And I think the mic is on. Yes. If the light is on, then the mic is on.
I'm Christian Martin. I have been in real estate real estate agent since March 1st. I have been active in it for like a month due to family. My big why is to help people. Like, I really want to help people. I want to leave the world a better place than what I entered it in. And the freedom. The more freedom I get, the more I can help people.
I love it.
My name is Taylor Johnson, and I've been in real estate for about 2 months now. And my big why, I guess, is I just want to be successful at a young age and just
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You're 20, okay.
And prove that you don't need college to be successful. And I mean, I guess it's kind of personal, but plus whoever my future wife is, I just want her to have the option to not have to work.
Future wife, if you're out there listening.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's my big why. So.
Love it.
My name is Katie Pittman. I've been in real estate for 2 months now. I'm with Mark Stewart. And my big why is in 2020, when COVID hit, I realized that I was really unhappy with my life. So I divorced my husband. I am now a single mom with 2 kids. I really haven't worked in my adult life. And before, I worked in the beauty industry in Las Vegas, and here that's just not the same. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And this kind of just fell in my lap because Liliana Owen is like a really close family friend. And she said, you would be so great, that you need to do it. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But then I see that she's killing it. She's doing such a great job. So I said, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. So yeah, there we go.
That's great.
My name's Savannah Slater, and I've been in real estate. I got my license in September of last year, so like 9-10 months. And actually a variety of reasons why I got into real estate. One, of course, I love to help people, especially with first-time home buyers. They work really hard to be able to get to that place to where they can buy a home. And also my husband and I are getting into like real estate investing with flips and stuff. And I wanted to have my license for that too. So
I love it. I love it.
I'm Sadie Furwalt. I got my license.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Sadie Furwalt.
Okay.
I got my license in September of 20. Yeah, I think so. Sometime around then. And my big why is I am a traveler and I travel the world and I want to be able to do that on a more regular basis. So
Have you been to Poland?
I've been to Iceland
Ooh, I love Iceland.
too. It's one of
It
my
feels
favorite
like a
places.
different planet.
It's amazing.
Hi, Paulina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm sorry I was late.
That's okay.
My stuff was here. I had to run to Republic to pick up my truck. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Okay. I'm Kurt Kokenar. My why is my family. I have 6 amazing children. I've been full-time real estate agent for 9 days.
Woo.
I got my license in December and have been dabbling. I've spent 14 years in the advertising business, and this is my transition to not ever, ever, ever having to be an employee again and subjected to the whims of corporate decision making. That's what this is. So thank you for teaching class. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you for sharing. That's amazing.
My name is Shane Knups. I'm also here for my family. I was a teacher for 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did
and
you teach?
Band.
Oh,
Yeah. So.
did you know that Mike was a band instructor for like
I do,
ever?
yes, and Mike is a big reason why I'm here.
Awesome.
So yeah. But I've been I've been a real estate agent for less than 2 weeks. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I passed the exam on June 2nd. So, yep.
I bet you're glad to be done with that.
Yeah.
I remember that test.
I've got you beat. Hi, everyone. My name is Derek Alexander. I got my work permit yesterday.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Super excited. I just joined Robinson and Lyons Realty Group, and I'll be working with Alexis Robinson, who I used to run the Bare Minerals store with here at the
Wow.
mall. I've been in the beauty industry for about a decade, and I'm also against corporate, and I wanted to get out of the industry. So I'm doing this for my family. I want to make Missouri my home, and I also want to travel. So
I love it. And I love Lexi. She actually, when I first joined, she was my coach. So she's super awesome and helpful and a great coach and a great leader.
I feel like I've made a really good decision.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm Nicole Rice, and I've actually been a licensee for close to 4 years now. I was a residential property manager before. So I've been with Keller Williams and getting into sales the last month and a half. And my husband's getting licensed too, and we just want to have that financial freedom to build a legacy for our family. And now we're expecting, so that's a little more real.
Congratulations.
And we just want to also be able to travel and help people. And since I did manage rental homes before, we'd like to buy some of our own. So
Yeah, and get into that passive income. Yeah, I love it.
definitely.
I'm Tim Wooten. I've been licensed for a couple of months. I'm Amy Malaya's buyer's agent and doing this for my family. And we're going to be closing on our first rental property. as well. We just
Yay.
bought this house, so we're getting into that world of investing.
Mhm.
We're really excited about that.
I bet. And if you guys don't know, Tim's wife, Tish, amazing. She's just down the office from me and she's awesome. Okay, thank you all for sharing. It was exciting to hear everybody's big whys. And just as a reminder, those tough days whenever you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do anything today. Just remind yourself of your big why, and that will definitely help you just get through the day and remember what the big reason of why you're doing this is, whether it's financial freedom or you want to travel or you're doing this for family or you want to get into investing. There's so many great reasons and there's so many ways to be successful. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and jump into the material. And some of it may seem boring, not super exciting, and it may seem overwhelming, but it's going to make sense in the big picture. So just bear with me. Do you guys have a workbook that you're following? Right? And if I forget to change the slides, just remind me because I might forget. So we're going to be talking today about your database. Your database is your business. The goal of Ignite Spark is for you guys to get your first appointment within 2 weeks and to set you up for signing your first contract within 30 days. So how many of you in here have already had appointments with clients? Okay, so most of you. What about a signed contract? Okay, so awesome. So you already know the game. Cool. So as you guys may know, real estate is a contact sport. So the more people you talk to, the higher your chances are. Literally, what I do every day is I talk about real estate all day, every day to anybody I come across, whether it's at a gas station, I'll hand them my business card, or if I go to a birthday party or a dinner or a baby shower, I'm always talking about real estate. I want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm a real estate agent, and there is a fine line between, being pushy and annoying. Then reminding people, hey, I'm here for your real estate needs. If you have any real estate needs, just keep me in mind. Did you have a question? And this is going to be the tricky part with running the mics.
So how do you naturally bring up without it being just totally weird that you're in real estate at a gas station?
I just hand them my business card. I mean, I don't do it every time, but
You just hand them your card?
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm in real estate.
So, you check out whatever. It's $5.69. There you go. How's your day going? Good, great. Okay. By the way, I'm a real estate agent. Here's my business card. If you ever have any needs, feel free to give me a call. And I have had one client that way.
Grocery store.
From a gas station. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's just, and Brian Stone does this. Any transaction or any interaction he has, he hands them a business card. It's just simple. And then you can just, don't sit there and try to expect to have a full-on conversation. Just casually, here's my business card. Keep me in mind. Super simple. And they might take it and throw it away. Who knows? But who knows? They might just call you a week from then and it didn't cost you anything. I mean, besides the cost of the business card. So. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, like I said, it's a contact sport. So the more people you talk to, the more people you let know that you're an agent, the higher chances you are of picking up new clients. So, okay, so what successful agents do every day? There's two different things that successful agents do. Grow your business and run your business. And a lot of people always ask me, what's the secret to real estate? There is no secret. It's all about consistency. It's all about growing your business and running your business. So under growing your business, let's look at that. So what you're going to be doing is lead generating for buyers and sellers. You're going to be making seller listing presentations and getting listings, making buyer presentations and getting listings, and then previewing real estate. So what I do every morning is check the hot sheet on the MLS. Are you guys familiar with what the hot sheet is? Yeah. So on do you have access to MLS yet? Not yet. Okay. So on the MLS, it's called the hot sheet. It's all new listings within 24 hours. So where it says preview real estate, I don't literally go to each house and check it out because that would take forever. But I do check new listings on the MLS every morning and then keep my active buyers in mind. So if I see a house that Judy might like, I'll send that over to her. So I think that's what it means by previewing real estate. I know that you guys on your first date all went and previewed some houses. Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. When I first started, we actually would go preview houses just to see what different houses look like, just to see what, I need to look for, whether it's the roof or, the foundation, check the crawl space. So it is important to actually go out there and preview houses. So you're not showing your first house and you're like, I don't know what to do. So that's important too. But more importantly, just checking the market and checking what's out there.
You check the hot sheets every day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that's better than actually setting somebody up on a portal?
I do both. So I have my active buyers set up on a search, and those new listings will automatically get sent to them. But I also check the hot sheet because I want to make that personal touch. So if there's a house that it literally makes me think of somebody, I will send it over to them via text and say, "Hey, I just saw this new listing come on the market and it made me think of you. Let me know if you want to schedule a showing." And it's just that extra personal touch.
You start doing that. I've got about 6 or 8 people set up on portals right now.
Mhm. Can you see if they're actually checking your emails and opening them?
They are, 'cause
Okay.
I get the email back that
Okay.
says that they opened.
Yeah, perfect. So that's what I do too. And then if there's anything that stands out, I will send them a message just as that extra personal touch. So they know I'm thinking of them and that I'm keeping them in mind whenever new listings come on the market. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And some agents do that, or I know that some agents actually will have the search sent to them directly and then go through those houses and then just select a few and send it over to the clients. So there's different ways you can do it. So most importantly, I know that it can be overwhelming by growing your business, but it's all about the small steps and it's all about consistency. So you need to it's important to have a consistent schedule. Like when I first started, and I still try to do this, Monday through Friday, I would lead generate every day from 9 until 11. And I'm a visual person. I don't know about you guys. I would literally have, I don't know where the markers are. On my whiteboard, I would have like boxes with the people I need to contact. So whatever goals you have for yourself, whether it's 5 people you want to talk to a day or 10, I would have this in front of me. And then with each person that I would talk to, I would check it off the list. And I would not stop doing this until I reach my goal. And it's hard at first because you don't see those results right away, but it works. And it's like I said, it's all about consistency. And then eventually you get busier and more successful, and then you can leverage that. But at first, I mean, I'm sure you guys all have time to do this now. Since if you're not working with a lot of clients, it's important for you guys to time block and set aside time to actually grow your business and just be consistent with it. So, what we're going to focus on today, like I said, growing your business, lead generating for buyers and sellers. So let's talk about our database. Have you guys heard that? Yes, back there. I know. I need like a mic runner.
Real quickly, you said that you called for 2 hours every day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start with the people that you knew
Mm-hmm.
and then went into cold calling, or did you just call the people that you knew the entire time?
Both.
At what point did you transition?
I don't remember exactly when I transitioned, but what I try to do is alphabetically in my phone, just go down the line and then call to those people, just letting them. And whenever you're first starting, that's literally the easiest conversation you can have. The script is super simple. It goes something like, "Hey, it's Paulina. I know we haven't talked in a while," or whatever. Just wanted to let you know that I just got my real estate license. I have high goals for myself. So if you or anybody you know have any real estate needs, will you keep me in mind? And it's that simple. And just go down the line and get through your sphere. If you get through your sphere, then you can think of other ways, like maybe for sale by owners or expired listings. But starting out with your sphere is the best thing you can do, because those are your cheerleaders. Those are the people that are gonna want to do business with you. They're gonna want to see you be successful, and they're gonna send you referrals. So I would say definitely start with your sphere. So you guys have heard the word database. What do you guys think that means? What do you think a database is? Who has the mic? Who wants the answer? There's no right or wrong answer.
Database, you said what is database?
Yeah, what is database?
Is it like your what's in command, your contacts, all the information about them, the tags that you put on? all that?
Exactly.
Is that-
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly what it is. So your database is going to be all your contacts, their phone number, any prospective client that you might have, whether it's a buyer, it's a seller, or it's an investor, anybody that you're going to market to. And essentially, that is your most prized possession because that's where all your business is going to come from. If you don't have a database, if you don't have contacts, you're not making any money. So, like I said, it is literally your most prized possession. So let's see. It says a well-tended database produces leads. A powerful database managed by a powerful schedule produces a predictable flow of leads. And from a predictable flow of leads, you can expect a predictable flow of business. So, I mean, hypothetically, you can get by in real estate without having a database, but the busier you get, it's going to get overwhelming. So, you guys being new, I would encourage all of you to start with a good database. And I mean, you can go through your phone and just start calling people in your phone, putting them into command. Have you guys all used command? Yeah. Put those people into command. Literally, all you need is their name, phone number, and email. And we'll touch on this later, but a good way to reach out to people is maybe asking them for their email. So if you have their name and phone number, you can just check in on them and say, hey, I was scrubbing my database. I realized I don't have your email address. What's your email address? Oh, and by the way, how are you doing? How's your husband? How are your kids? Oh, and do you guys have any real estate needs? Will you keep me in mind if you do? So that's an easy way to get in touch with people as well. And it says even with 250 people in your database, that's plenty. And I'm sure you guys, I don't know how many people you have in your phone contacts, but I'm sure everybody in here has at least 50 people. So that's a great way to start. And everybody, I'm sure, since everybody and their mother is getting their real estate license, everybody knows at least one real estate agent. So it's important for you guys to be the agent that they call and keep in mind, because if you're not staying in touch with them, somebody else is. So whenever they do have those needs, they're going to call the person that maybe has reached out to them and talked to them. So it's super important to stay in touch with your database. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's supposed to make you guys get into groups. Whoopsies. Okay, I'm not even doing my slides. I think I broke it. Here we go. Slide, what is database? Okay, so these are just the things we're going to be talking about. What is the purpose of your database? What makes the database valuable? What other industries use a database for prospecting and marketing? And then what makes targeted marketing effective? Okay. So this is the part that I'm supposed to make you get into groups, but we're going to go ahead and skip over that. So let's talk about the 3 levels of a Millionaire database. There's 3 levels: essential, effective, and exceptional. And the most important thing about your database is the relationship you build with people, because like I said, everybody knows a real estate agent. So it's important to have those valuable relationships with your database. Okay, so the first level, the essential level. This is the simplest and most fundamental level. All you need is their name, their contact information, and then maybe the past business and past contact records. So maybe how you know them or how you met them, and then at will communication. So what this means is somebody saying, yes, you can connect with me. Because if you just randomly run into somebody and then start bombarding them, they're probably not going to respond to that very well. But if you make a good connection with them and you have at will communication, they say, yes, you can connect with me, then maybe you can start giving them a call or sending them a text message or email, whatever it is. An example of that would be somebody that comes to your open house. Do you guys do open houses? Yeah. So yeah, somebody that comes into your open house, maybe signs in on your sign-in sheet, they're willingly giving you their contact information, which gives you permission now to reach out to them. I think we have a ghost. Huh? Oh, okay. So then it goes into effective. And that means obtaining permission, collecting personal information, insights, and preferences, segmenting them into groups, and being purposeful and consistent with your communication. So what that means is somebody at an open house, if you had a good conversation with them, maybe finding some things that you have in common with them, finding out where they go to, I don't know, where their kids go to school or where they go to church, and then segmenting those into different groups in command, which I'm awful at that. So, but I do encourage you guys to do that because then it's easier to connect with those people and have something to talk about and making those deeper connections with them. And then the last level, which is the best level you can reach, is the exceptional, which is automated custom communications built around triggers. So this is going to be, you know, after you've had multiple conversations with them, now you know a little bit about them. Now you're staying in touch with them on a regular basis and reaching out with purpose. So maybe if they live in a certain neighborhood, you're sending them the neighborhood market update or whatever it is, or saying, hey, there was a house listed down the road from you for 200,000. Have you guys thought about listing? Because this is how much you can sell your house for right now. So essentially, you want to reach this level. However, like I said, hypothetically speaking, I like to keep it simple. Really, all you need is somebody's name, phone number, and then at will communication, and then maybe just a few things to connect with them so you have something to talk about the next time you reach out to them. So it's not just awkward, like, hey, I'm calling. Do you want to sell your house? You know, it's just, you got to find something to connect to people with. Find those commonalities with people. Okay. Why use a database? Let's go into that. So, looks like there's two reasons: avoid the today trap and a predictable return on investment. So the first one, avoiding the today trap, I mean, let's be real. As real estate agents, it's a little scary because even I have this fear. You wake up every day and you're basically jobless. I have to wake up every day and generate new leads. If I don't have anything under contract, I'm like, oh crap, like I don't have a job right now. But that's why it's important to have a database, because I will have a pipeline of people. Maybe they're not ready to buy or sell right now, but they're going to be ready in a week, in a month, whatever the timeline is. And then the predictable return on investment, you want to know that what you put into it is what you get. Because you can either make very little money and run around and just waste your time, or you can make a lot of money and be purposeful with everything that you do. So let's dig into these a little more. So there's two different types of business, today and tomorrow. And without a database, your business is only built for today. So I like to call the today database the low-hanging fruit. So maybe you get lucky and meet somebody at an open house and they're like, oh, I want to buy this house right now. I mean, that's great. However, what's next? So without a database, once again, you wake up the next day and you're jobless. That's why it's so important to have people in your database, people to reach out to and follow up with. And I know it can get super frustrating because, like I said, in real estate, the results are not immediate. So sometimes you're doing things and you don't necessarily know if they're producing you results. However, you have to be consistent with it and you have to stick with it for long enough to know if the things that you're doing are actually producing results, like calling people. So when I first started, my goal was to, like I said, lead generate from 9 until 10 or 11. And then I would send 5 Facebook messages per day. So it was literally the same message that I just copied and pasted, I, of course, would change their name, but it was the same message. Let's see, I don't know if I can even pull it up, but I would make a goal to send it to at least 5 people per day. And you guys, you know, like on Facebook, how you can see when somebody read your message? I would always be so mad because everybody read my message, but nobody ever responded. And that's what I mean about you just have to be consistent and stick with it because those results are not going to be immediate. So just as an example, I messaged a girl that I went to high school with in like March when I first started or April. And then I saw that she saw my message, didn't respond. And then come December, so like what, 8 months later, she responded back and said, hey, I'm actually moving. I'm taking another job in, I don't know where, out of state. I'm thinking about selling my house. And I'm like, hallelujah, it worked. But it took, what, 7, 8 months? So yeah, it's all about just staying consistent and staying on top, front of mind, in front of your database. So here's just a little example of why you should use your database. Let's take a look at 100 people. So out of 100 people, 65 of those are going to be purchasing a house. The 35, they're just either renting, they're never going to buy a house, they have awful credit, I don't know. But let's just focus on the 65 out of 100. And those are just average statistics. And then out of those 65 people, 58 of those people are off market. So that leaves you with 7 people that you now have to work with out of the 100. And if an agent that is working without a database is only focusing on today's business, you're basically trying to find that orphan client that doesn't already have an agent, and that's not setting yourself up for success. If you were consistently following up with those people, one of those people would have obviously chosen you as an agent. But just kind of shooting darts out there in the dark, hoping you will get one of these 7 people is probably not going to set you up for success. So according to studies, people move every 10 years. So if you're only focusing on doing business with people today, that's only 10% of the people you could be doing business with. Do you guys have any questions? Any aha so far? I told you this is going to be super exciting. Okay. So let's see what this study says. For every dollar that you invest in your database activities, expect at least $14 back, which, I mean, that's an amazing return on investment. So what that's saying is for every dollar that maybe I spend on flyers, on whatever you do, you're getting $14 back. And some of the associated costs with each customer are going to be generating leads, converting those leads into a customer, and converting that customer to a referral. So it's not just going to be overnight. This is long term. But if you're doing the right things every day and you're consistent, for every dollar that you spend, you're getting 14 back. And I'll take that all day, any day. So I don't know if you guys ever did an activity with, whenever you first started, I think Tim does it with everybody that he meets with. He will ask you how much money you want to make. So say I want to make $100,000 my first year. You can actually break that down to how much time you're going to have to put in on a daily basis and how many people you have to reach out to on a daily basis to get you to that success rate. Have you guys done that activity? No? I would highly encourage you to do it. I don't remember what mine was, but that kind of helped me realize how much time I have to put in every day to reach my goal of how much money I want to make. So, okay. Why use a database? Take advantage of the predictable return on investment. 3 important considerations. Lowest lead cost. So the cheapest customer acquisition strategy to work with existing customers and people who know and people who know and like you. So this is going to be your sphere of influence because like I said, those are the people that are going to want to see you successful and they're going to cheer you on, send you business. And then number 2 is lowest conversion cost, which is when properly built and maintained, a database will actually end up producing its own leads in the form of repeat clients and referrals. So for me, this started happening about 12 months into the business. After I've had my own clients, then you get to see those past clients sending you new business. And that's like the most amazing thing ever. That's why you always want to take good care of your customers and ask for reviews so they send you business. And like I said, for me, it took about 12 months for my past clients to start sending me referrals. And it's seriously the best thing ever. And then number 3, it pays for itself. A database makes it easier to do consistent follow-up. And when you're good at consistent follow-up, the resulting leads will end up paying for themselves. So let's take a second to kind of ask questions and maybe some of your ahas about your database. Who wants to chime in? And everybody online, if you have anything to say, make sure you put that in the chat box. Sure.
So how do you, or what was your primary way of getting leads when you first started? I know there are agents who say they pay for leads, but a lot of them say maybe open houses or I don't know. So what was yours?
So mine was and still is my sphere of influence. I literally called probably every single person in my phone and just did that simple script. I would message people on Facebook with that simple script. And then aside from my sphere of influence, I would do open houses. So I would say 50% of my business when I first started would come from open houses. So yeah.
Okay, so my best thing so far has been open houses, and I want to get your like advice on it. So I have great conversations while I'm there and even a little bit afterward, but then people just like go completely dark, don't talk to you at all. And so what's your advice on like following up with them after the open house or even what you talk about while you're there?
Yeah. So, I mean, open houses are tricky because they're a hit or a miss. But what I do you have a sign-in sheet that you use? And what questions do you ask for on the sign-in sheet?
Well, like, so I have a clipboard that says like, I mean, I don't like doing the clipboard. That's what Evan does. I just use one of these and then I put name, number, and email, and then I do a fake name, number, and email. So people are like okay with that. And so that's just what I do for it. And then I just talk to them and ask them questions while I'm there and I just remember it.
So do people actually put their information down?
Yeah, I have several here. Yeah. So
okay. I'm going to have to see those. Just kidding. I'll just take them. I'm just joking. I do an iPad and there's a free app that you can download. I think it's called Open Home Pro. Because what I've noticed is I don't think people want to write down their information for everybody else to see. So I've had better luck with the iPad. Yeah.
So I need to buy an iPad is what you're saying.
I guess. And I have a stand like right at the door. But going further into that, the secret with converting an open house lead is in the follow-up because you're never there to sell the house that you're doing the open house for. You're there to pick up new buyer leads. So what I do as my follow-up plan is right after the open house, I will either send them an email or a text message, something super simple saying, hey, John, thank you for stopping by my open house at 123 Main Street. It was so nice to meet you. If you have any questions about the house or if you want to come back and look at it again, just let me know. And they don't ever respond. So then the next day, part of my follow-up for open houses is giving them a call. And they also won't answer. And I make those phone calls in the morning because people are more prone to answer phone calls in the morning, but 99% of the time, they're still not going to respond to you. So I'll leave them a voicemail and say, hey, it's Paulina again. Just wanted to say thanks again for stopping by my open house. If you want to see any houses this week, just give me a call. And then maybe on Tuesday, shoot them a message. Or if you know what they're looking for, if there's a new listing that came on the market, send them that listing and say, hey, I just saw this new listing pop up. Let me know if you'd like to schedule a showing.
Find out if they have somebody or not.
Yes.
Before this point.
Yeah.
What I keep getting is, oh, well, I have realtor friends. And so I'm asking, well, what are they exactly doing for you? Like, are they, and then a lot of them say, well, they're not really showing me anything or anything like that.
That's
So
just
it's
an
hard-
excuse
yeah,
then.
So it's like hard to get over. Like, obviously, if they're their friend, it's kind of hard for some random guy they just met to be there, be the person that shows them all that.
I mean, there is a workaround to that, because I get that a lot. Like, oh, I have a friend that's an agent. Well, everybody does, and you're dealing with a lot of money. Purchasing a house is the biggest purchase you're ever going to make. So are you really going to want to deal with your friend if something goes wrong? Are you, if you get into a confrontation, it's better to deal with somebody that maybe you're not super close friends with, so you don't ruin that relationship. And also, I understand that you have a friend that's a real estate agent. And I even tell my personal friends this. It's always a good idea to interview multiple agents because, like I said, it is the biggest investment of your life. Wouldn't you want to be educated about what options you have and what services other agents can provide? And it works sometimes it doesn't, but that's just something you can say. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I probably should interview other agents. And then some of the questions so what questions are you asking people at your open houses?
Like while they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I just try to really just build rapport with them. So I can't, tell you exactly what I say every time. It's just really situational. But
Right.
the main things I ask them is instead of just saying, do you have an agent? I just say, well, have you written any offers or who's kind of helping you with the process? And that's mainly what I ask. And then just do like a mini consultation with them there, like what they're looking for. So if they're not represented, so I know, okay, they want a 322 in Ozark, then I go ahead and set them up on a search after the office and have them email me and them. So
yeah, those are all great questions. And those are the questions that I ask as well. So I'll ask them, are you just looking at this open house or are you looking at multiple? How long have you been looking? Hi, Tish. She thought she was just going to sneak in here. And then who's helping you get into homes? Who's sending you houses? And those are all great questions to ask something directly, but indirectly, like you said. And what I do is I will make notes either on my phone or on my iPad. That way, when I reach out to them, bye, Tish, reach out to them. Right? Where is our milkshakes? What was I saying? Yeah, so I will make notes in my phone or on the iPad just so I remember everybody, because then when I call them the next day, those little details, like if they remember, oh, I have a dog named Sparkle, I don't know. That's the first name that came to my mind.
that's awful.
But they're going to remember that and it's going to resonate with them. But I would say just keep following up with them. My first lead that I converted from an open house, I think I messaged her like 20 times before she even responded. And like every other day I would see a new listing and send it to her and be like, hey, this might be something that you might like. Let me know if you want to see it. And just kept sending. And then finally she's like, hey, can I look at this house? And I'm like, yes, you can. Let's go. So yeah, just keep following up with them. For me, a successful open house is if I get at least one good lead. So even if you have 20 people come through the open house, if you can get one good lead out of that, that's worth your money and your time.
So when you message them afterward, like however many times, doesn't matter, do you just like straight up send them the listing? Or do you say, hey, I think I found a few homes that I think fits your criteria. Call me and let me know if you're still interested or something like that.
That actually might work too. Cause like if I get a message like that, I'd be like, ooh, I wonder what he found from me.
Because my problem was, and Evan told me, I was just sending them too much information first, like just all the homes at once first. And obviously, like, I couldn't tell if they viewed them just
right.
So yeah, I was just wondering what you did.
Yeah. I will send them the listing, but it's always just one at a time every few days so they're not overwhelmed. But yeah, just the secret is in the follow-up. Does anybody else have any questions or comments back there? Thank you. I appreciate that.
Since we're on the topics of open houses, what do you need to do prior to the open house? What is it that you find has been the most effective for you as far as the actions that you've taken, the signage, the way that you've set the open house up prior to?
Great question. So I usually put out my directional signs either Thursday or Friday for a Sunday open house. And I'll usually put out 5 or 6 directional signs. The reason why is because sometimes I'll ask the people at the open house how they found out about it. And I never thought a person would come to the open house because they saw a directional sign, but you guys would be surprised how many people do, especially nosy neighbors. And that's maybe that's not necessarily a buyer lead, but that could be a listing lead that you now have met. So I'll put out my signs Thursday or Friday, and then either the day before or maybe a few hours before the open house, I'll print the MLS sheet and put open house Sunday 2 to 4. And you know how when you print it, it has your contact information at the bottom with your phone number, name, email address, all that stuff. I will door knock around the open house, inviting people to my open house or just letting them know, hey, I'm doing an open house down the road. If there is an unusual amount of cars or activity in the neighborhood, don't be alarmed. I'm just doing an open house. By the way, you should come and check it out. Or have you thought about selling your house? We're listing that one's listed for 200,000. Have you thought about what your house is worth? And just leave the flyer with them but yeah. Yeah. Or you can do a flyer, whatever you do. I'm cheap and lazy, so I would just print the MLS sheets and just hand those out. So, but yeah. And then after the open house, obviously you need to follow up with those people because even if you give them your business card, they're not going to call you. You're going to have to initiate that contact and reach out to them. Like before the open house? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, whether it's people stopping by your open house or maybe asking, I've gotten a listing that way because they're like, wait, you listed that house for how much? And then it just depends on how the conversation go. I've actually set appointments from door knocking because they're like, we don't know, but we thought about putting our house on the market. Okay, well, are you available this week on Tuesday? Would 2 or 4 work better for you for me just to stop by? I can do a quick walkthrough and let you know exactly how much your house is worth. So, does that answer your question? Cool. Okay. You're welcome. Any other questions? Any ahas? I think you had one.
So with the SOI conversion, I've done the initial, hey, I'm a new agent contact with all of them. And then I put them on a smart plan where I think there's like a touch every couple weeks with them. My thought was I wasn't sure how direct it should be because they're also your friends. So you want to be that annoying agent that's like, hey, come buy a house. But did you find it beneficial to just keep your name out there? Like now that we have social media, it's even easier. Comment on their post. Hey, that was so cool. Or congratulations to your son on their birthday or whatever. Just something where they're not forgetting you. Or is that too passive, do you think?
I don't think it is. And that's exactly what I do because you're right. You don't want to be that annoying friend that's an agent. So I would initially reach out to them. And then I have a business Facebook page that I would invite all my friends to like. And I would comment on people's posts like happy birthday. Every morning I get on Facebook and I check whose birthday it is. And I literally will comment on their wall and say happy birthday. Or, if they just got married, comment on their picture like, oh, how cool. This looks so much fun. I'm glad you had a great vacation. Or like their posts. Or if they post something on your page or your picture, make sure you like it and comment back so you're interacting, because the more you comment and interact with that person, Facebook's algorithm will actually reward you and push your content out to more
True.
people.
That's a good
But you
point.
have to be purposeful with what you do on Facebook. So,
And then on the open houses, just last question on that,
Mhm.
but did you find it really mattered, like refreshment wise, what she did? People don't care.
no, I
Okay.
don't do that.
You don't do that.
And some agents do. I don't know if it works or not. I used to bring like little water bottles and cookies and whatnot. And I'm just like, I don't.
We've done a couple and we had to give a ton of them away after. So we're
Yeah.
debating whether they just were bad refreshments or if it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know the correct answer, but me personally, I just don't find the value in that because I'm not there to feed them.
Yeah.
I'm there to be a good resource for them. So I don't do that. I know some agents do, but I just don't see the value in that.
Sure.
But if you do, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe on a hot day, somebody's excited that there's a water bottle or a cookie or whatever.
Sure.
But I just did not find it
yeah.
effective.
That's good to know.
So, yeah. Anybody else? Okay, we're going to move on. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I got to get through this fast. So, let's move on to developing your database. Okay. There are two ways to feed your database, prospecting and marketing. Do you guys know the difference between the two? I bet you do. Because you were in marketing, right? Oh, you were in marketing. Yeah. So marketing requires money. It is passive, meaning that you wait for the lead to find you, whereas prospecting requires time. So it is proactive, meaning that you're doing the groundwork to find the leads. So an example of marketing would be maybe a Facebook lead where you just put out the lead out there and you're waiting for people to message you. And obviously that's going to require money. Whereas prospecting, like door knocking, is going to require your time and you're literally going out to make that contact with the people. Like I told you guys before, I'm cheap, so I don't do a lot of marketing. I do a lot of prospecting, but it may be different for everybody because if your time is more valuable than your money, then you might do other things that require money and not as much as your time. When I was a new agent, and still now to this day, since this is my full-time job, I do have the time to prospect. So I do door knock, I do call people. So I really focus on prospecting and not spending a lot of money, and that's been successful for me. But like I said, it's all about how you want to run your business and the things that you want to focus on. I do. And that's how I actually nourish my sphere of influence because I don't want to be calling them and bothering them all the time, but they see me constantly posting either new listings or interest rates or just information. I post at least once a day, and that seems like a lot, sometimes multiple times a day. But it's just part of my marketing plan. It's what works. So sometimes I will have people that I don't even know reach out to me and say, "Hey, I saw that you posted this house. Can we go see it?" or stuff like that. So Facebook is so powerful, and definitely take that to your advantage. Yes. Question over here. Where's the mic? Oh, and those of you online, Tim's question was if I have results from posting on Facebook.
So I have a business Facebook page and then I have my personal page.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously all my friends that are on my personal page aren't all on my business page. I've invited them, but they're just not all on there. Do you find it effective to like share what you post on your business page to your personal page?
Mm-hmm. So you can actually invite people to like your business page. Have you done that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did that with all my friends when I first started it.
Okay. Yes, I will. If I post something on my business page, most of the time I will reshare that to my personal page just so I can get a bigger audience of people. So those people that maybe haven't liked my business page, they can still see the posts that I'm putting out. So yeah, and it's just a simple, I'm sure you know how to do it. Just reshare on your, yeah. Okay.
So do you plan out what like your posts are going to be each day, like whether it's about real estate or just like life? I don't know.
Yeah. I used to, and I have a little workbook that I can share with you guys if you want. But now it's just so random. Like I'll just be driving in my car and think of an idea and post it. But that's obviously probably not the most effective and efficient way. So I would have something different to post Monday through Friday. And if you guys want, I can send you the workbook that I have created. So if you guys want to email me and say, hey, will you send me that workbook? You're more than welcome to, and I'm happy to share it with you. And let me write my email. Yeah. I think I'm getting off track. And let me put this in. Oh. PNAJBAR. Got it? Okay. So let me get through this content really fast. Where are we? 2 ways. Did we talk about this already? Yeah, it's my Facebook workbook. I'll know what you're talking about. What the heck? Oh, okay. There you go. Start adding people. So I think the max amount of friends you can have on Facebook is 5,000. And you know how Facebook will give you suggested friends. Don't just add random people so they don't like murder you. But if you have maybe 30 or 40 people in mutual friends with them, then I say they're safe to add. Springfield is, I feel like, an overgrown big town, and you're always 2 people away from knowing everybody. So I'm sure you can find those connections. And even if you don't necessarily know them, I've had people that I don't know personally reach out to me because I do provide so much value on Facebook. Yeah.
So I see some
Mm-hmm.
so like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you saying because you're new and you don't think they're going to trust you? Okay. And I get where you're coming from. However, yeah, I did. And it's not just you. You have a whole team behind you. So take that to your advantage when you're talking and making presentations. I mean, because you are on Evan's team, right? So you have that team supporting you. If any of you guys are individual agents, you can use our whole office as leverage and say, hey, in the month of May, we wrote this many deals, we closed this many deals, our average list price is X amount. So it's not just you as an individual agent, it's this whole office supporting you. So if you say, we did this, we did that, we have this resource, we have this type of marketing, then they won't even question, oh, he's new. No, yeah, maybe he's new, but he has a whole team supporting him. So, and then you just have to get out of your own way because yeah, maybe you are new, maybe you haven't even done a transaction, but you probably know 10 times more than just an average person that doesn't have their license. I mean, you're in the office all the time, you're exposed to all the information, you're exposed to market statistics. I guarantee you, you know so much more and you're so much more knowledgeable than just an average person, and they would find value in you. So it just has to be a mind shift because to them, you are the expert. So. Can you repeat that?
I've gone to the internal KW Facebook page and shared something to my Facebook
Okay.
in statistics. things like
Oh, well, you can't actually share from the internal page. So I bet you're talking about the Keller Williams
that.
Facebook
Yeah,
page.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I did.
And you can do that because that just shows what we do as a team. So,
That's what I did.
yeah, that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's great too. There's so much content out there you can find. It's just about finding what you want to post. So, okay, moving on. Develop your database. So like we talked about, there's two different ways, marketing, prospecting, and people respond best when communication reflects what matters to them. That's why I was telling you guys it's important to put people in different categories and finding things maybe you have in common with them. So on command, you can actually categorize people and make tags. So like if you met somebody at an open house, I always tag open house, or maybe it's if it's a past coworker, I put it in my past coworker category, or if it's somebody I play volleyball with or whatever. And some other examples are business relationships, hobbies and interests, property type, investors, vendors, stuff like that. But it just helps you keep your database organized and knowing how to follow up with those people and what conversations you need to have. So this actually shows you, do you guys know how to do a tag on command? If you don't, ask Dan Turkel. Call Dan Turkel. He's awesome. It's super easy. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, he would be happy to help you guys. So moving on, we're going to talk about leads versus contacts. Do you guys know the difference between a lead and a contact? What's a lead? Who has a mic?
The lead is somebody that you don't necessarily know, but you have in your database, and the contact is somebody that you do or that you've actually reached out to.
Bingo, that's exactly right. So leads are people who have the right to at least have a one-way conversation with. Contacts are going to be people that you're connected with by permission or because you know them. They're interactive and value-based. So an example of a lead would be somebody at an open house, maybe leaving their contact information. An example of a contact is somebody that you have a relationship with, that you have a two-way communication with. So the important thing is converting those leads into contacts. And if you don't have a lot of ways to categorize your database, this would be the easiest way to categorize them when you're first starting out, leads versus contacts. So now this will give you a whole new direction because maybe the phone call you're making to your leads, that's going to be a completely different conversation than the conversation you're having with the contacts. Does that make sense? So you're always wanting to convert those leads into contacts so you can have an open line of communication with them. And then statistically, here are the touches you have to do to convert leads versus contacts. And this is just by studies. So 19 ways to connect with a lead, and then 36 ways to connect with a contact to convert them to a client. And I know that seems overwhelming, like 19, am I gonna have to make 19 phone calls to this person? Oh my God. Or like 36 times, am I seriously gonna have to call him 36 times? And that doesn't necessarily mean a phone call. There's different ways to touch a person. So the lead will break down to 4 touches, quarterly phone call, 12 emails, newsletter, market report, videos, 2 touches by promotional direct mail, magnets. I don't know if people even send magnets anymore. Is that a thing? Do you? Oh, I mean, they're kind of cool. Like when I walk into a house and I see like somebody's business card magnet on a fridge, I'm like, that's kind of cool because then everybody sees it. And then 1 annual event, party, movie screening, whatever. And those can get kind of expensive. So a way to leverage this is maybe if there's already an event happening, like a happy hour somewhere, or maybe a movie in the park, totally use that to your advantage. Just invite a bunch of people to come out with you, whether it's your friends or people that you have met, and say, hey, I'm having a client appreciation event, and just use an event that's already happening. I've done that before because I didn't want to spend all the money to put it together myself. So you can totally leverage activities that are already happening in the community. If what? Oh, if there's food. Don't do that, Tim. We'll put that on the do not do list. And then for contacts, 36 touches to convert. So 4 of those are going to be phone calls, 26 are biweekly emails offering some type of information of value to the customer, which on in command, you can actually add them to a smart plan. That's a biweekly neighborhood update, and it automatically sends that email out for you. But you are going to need that person's email address, which if they're already your contact, you should have their email address anyways. And then you're also going to need their physical home address. 2 events, get-togethers, parties, and then 4 promotional direct mails such as magnets, calendar, market report, etc. And like I said, I know this seems super overwhelming. If you can't get to all of those, the most important ones are going to be the phone calls. So focus on the phone calls because that's going to be the most personal touch. And having a two-way conversation is going to be so much more meaningful than maybe sending a magnet or an email, whatever it is that you send. So if you can't get to all of these, this is just statistical data. Definitely do not skip the phone calls because those are going to be the most important and the most effective. And then there's 2 ways to tend to your database. Build a culture around testimonials and reviews. So like I mentioned before, it took me 12 months in business to start getting past client referrals and then repeat business. What I do after each closing is I send them an email asking for a review. And then at the closing, I'll actually tell them like, hey, it was so nice working with you. Whenever we leave here, I'm going to send you an email. I'm trying to build my business. Do you mind leaving me a 5-star review or whatever it is? And then updating your database. And the best thing to do this is, like I said, if you have a missing piece of information like their email address and you're scrubbing your database, you can just say, hey, I was updating my database. I noticed that I don't have your email address or I don't have your physical address. And I found that a really good way to get somebody's physical address is right before Christmas time, because you can be like, I'm getting ready to send out Christmas cards and I really want to send you one. What's your address? So yeah, updating your database, super important. Okay, I kind of went through the last part fast because we're running over time. So any ahas or questions from this section? From developing your database. What do you guys do right now to develop your database? Right, personal letters? To who? Wait, where's the mic? Is it back there? So you're writing personal letters to like everybody in your database, your past coworkers, people you meet at an open house?
I'm just writing, just anybody or like even my friends' parents or my parents' friends or just people I know just from anywhere and I have like somewhat of a connection with, and so I just like fold it a certain way where I have 2 of my business cards in there, and then those people are my coffee appointments. What I'm doing
Gotcha.
right now.
So you're in that letter, you're asking to meet with them for coffee?
No, but I'm saying like I say in there somewhere, please don't hesitate to call. I'm never too busy to catch up for coffee or grab lunch or something like that. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so that's what I do.
So have you had any success with that?
Any business from it?
Anybody calling you to get coffee or ask you questions or?
Calling them, and because what I realized with those letters is it's not going to be like an immediate thing. It's going to be a little bit. But with the coffee appointments, they usually don't care because like I already, told them that I might do that. So
Yeah. I think that's another one of those things where at an open house, you give them your business card, but you still have to be the one to initiate the contact. And that's a great idea. How soon after you send the letter do you call them?
I don't know. I just kind of wait like a week or two just for the letter to get delivered
Mhm.
and then like getting a chance to read it and then I call. So
Gotcha. And I think that's a great way to stay front of mind of people because I mean, I get letters all the time from insurance agents or life insurance, whatever it is. So, and it makes me think of that person. So I think that's great that you're doing that. Any other ways that you guys are staying in front of your database and feeding into your database? You text them.
Yeah, I sent a lot of text messages to people about joining Keller,
Mhm.
and then a lot of them are also on Facebook. So I have some smart plans to keep contacting them on that. And then yesterday, I can't remember her name, but she talked about that 10-10-10 plan, where you like contact 10 new
Who talked about that?
yesterday.
Oh, Evan?
Christina.
Oh, Christina.
Christina. Yeah. But like 10 new contacts in command every day and 10
Mhm.
handwritten notes. So
Mhm.
I've started looking at contacts that I do have an address for because some of them, like from open houses, even they gave me their address.
Mm.
And then I can give them a handwritten note and then follow up. So it's like, oh, when I call them, it's not who is this? It's that chick that sent me that card.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So are you guys doing that right now as part of being an Ignite is adding 10 contacts, having 10 conversations a day, 10 handwritten notes and previewing 10 homes? You guys? Really? Are you leaving them voicemails? No. I do. Who are you calling? Circle prospecting. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I don't leave voicemails with cold calling, but to my sphere I do. So, yeah. Well, at least you tried. But I'm sure they have parents, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, we are going to do script practice. Do you guys have your script books? Okay. I'm going to have you guys role play for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. So get with a partner. We're going to do some script practice, and then we're going to get some ahas from that, and we're going to wrap up. On what?
I said I'm on now.
Oh. If you want, we can script practice together.
All people having a conversation. By calling down my phone list, A to B.
Yeah.
So I've had
You're calling people in your
just my
phone,
sphere.
just going down the line.
I have a database.
Wow. That's
They're
huge.
all business owners.
That is a great question. You would have to check with Rachel. Don't know. And I don't know, I don't even know what format you have to. Yeah.
So that's what my question was.
My guess is gonna be,
That's
yeah,
I bet so.
and that's gonna be time consuming. But maybe what I would do is if you get this into command and then just call them from command. So each person that you call while you're on the phone with them or waiting, the phone's ringing, just adjust. That way you're not like having to double dip and do. Yeah.
It's on efficiency. Directional.
Yeah, so
Where
like
do I get the directionals at?
purchase them with Ashley at the front desk.
Perfect.
And I think they're like $5 a piece. Have they should have the metal with them, but you know what I do is pull up
You
a
just put the
random.
MLS sheet, is what I said, right? Because I'm sitting here stressing out. I just picked it up today, and you're like, I put them out like 2 days before, and I'm like, it's on Saturday.
As long as you get them out the day before, you're fine. But obviously, the longer they're out there, the more people are going to see them. But to the open house, obviously, your goal is not to sell the open house.
Right. No,
It's
that's
to
totally possible.
it's to pick up buyer leads. So I would print out like 20 MLS sheets to hand out to people at the open house.
Right.
And then if you want to door knock, another 20. Let's say
And
open
you're doing
house.
the black and white, no worries. I mean, they're super cheap, but I don't.
No.
Okay.
So like if this was my open house, I would put one right in front of the open house, and then maybe one at the end of this road, one here, one there. Just I try to hit every main entrance to the house. And each turn I'll just put a directional. So usually I'll put 5 or 6 depending on where the house is.
Okay. And so you're door knocking, you love your idea about the tablet.
It's
Open agent.
Open Home Pro, and I have a iPad stand that I leave by the door, and I'll
Where'd
usually
you
like
grab the stand? If you don't mind?
I bought it on Amazon, but let me. Just one of these.
Okay. I'll have to skip that this week.
That's okay. You can do. Open house.
Yeah, for sure. I can't do it on Sunday.
Gotcha.
Like,
Well, I'll
Saturdays
definitely
and
keep you in
Sundays.
mind because with my listings, usually I do them myself because they're just so hard to. Now.
Okay.
Open Home Pro.
Open home.
My iPad with me if you want to.
Oh, it's cool. I'll go download it right now.
Okay.
I'm
Oh
trying
yeah.
to make this time as productive.
Yeah.
I'm inputting these survey scripts. I signed up last night for the $50.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? So I signed up for that.
So you're doing that, good. And you know, the point of scripts is not, and I'm sure you know this, it's not to have everything memorized word by word. Because you still want to sound like yourself and sound like a human and not like a machine. But, and I used to hate script, but conversations, yeah,
Whether you like it or not, you gotta know.
conversations where I would find myself not knowing what to answer, I would remember, like, oh yes, but I can say whenever they give you this objection. And then at that point, you're not saying it word by word, but you have an idea of what you can say to combat and overcome that objection. Yeah.
Or do you dig in on?
That's
Off of
always
that,
tough. I mean, some of them will lie and say that they are working with an agent. But on my iPad, the 3 questions I ask is their name, phone number, email, and are you working with an agent, yes or no? But like I said, some of them will still lie and say yes because they know if they say yes, you won't reach out to them.
Right.
So I will still send them an email.
So can you ask who?
Yes, that's the best way.
Okay.
So I mean, obviously you're not going to see their answers. No, but if you're having a conversation with them, so who's showing you guys houses? Who's sending you houses? Have you seen any other houses? Who's letting you in? And then that's an easy way to find out if they're actually working with an agent or if they're just. And I'll even ask them, so who's the agent you're working with? And then if they tell me, tell me, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a great agent. They're awesome. But if they're like, oh well, or like, they know if they're lying.
Okay. So last question.
I don't know. I'm a workaholic.
No, I feel you. So am I.
Yeah.
I've been here since 6. I don't have any open space really.
There's no secret. It's just.
Saturday and Sunday.
I would just do Sunday. If I did Saturday and Sunday, I would be overwhelmed.
Okay.
So I would just do open
This one's on
houses.
Saturday. So
Yeah, I would just do one because some people do both days. For me, it's just too overwhelming. I need like one day. Don't talk to me.
whenever you put all your listing information on Facebook Marketplace, remember you put one. Never experimented with using the points on.
Well, I don't put houses on Facebook Marketplace anymore
Okay.
because
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
I do on my personal page and my business page,
Got it.
but not on the marketplace because maybe I just don't know how it works. But sometimes when I would delete it, it would still be out there somewhere, and I would have people message me. And then it's actually been reported to the board because it was somebody's client that said, "Hey, there's this house on Facebook Marketplace, but it's not available anymore because it's." But I didn't know how to like. And I also didn't have time to like keep track of it. Like if I posted something on Facebook Marketplace and it sold, to go back and like mark it sold. And so I was like, screw it, I'm not. Yeah. But if you're asking about just me posting on my business, I usually put the price because I've had people comment and be like, oh, why aren't you including all the details? Comments. So I'll usually just put the price.
I was thinking of it as a strategy. Not very detail oriented if you don't.
Curiosity and
Experiment.
I bet that
Just to
would
see if it
work.
would drive somebody, if it would drive questions from people. Well, how much is it? Well, how much is it? Well, how much? Okay. And then, oh, it's this much. I'm sorry, I didn't put it on there. So are you working with somebody?
How to you if you leave out those details. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Address off too. valuable. Gotcha. That's smart.
Share that. Yeah, just.
So I don't remember where who I was talking to, but I talked to agents from different. All they did was market and then send those referrals.
I don't say that at all. No, but I'm super motivated by